I thought I was dressing smart until I saw a photo of myself next to my daughter and realized something was off. I wasn't just out of date, I was dressing older than I felt. In this video, I'm sharing 15 outdated items women over 50 should declutter, because I've made these mistakes, and I've helped others fix them too. I'll show you what's aging your look, and what I do instead. Some of these might surprise you, especially number 13. That one? I kept it for years, thinking it was a classic. Stay with me, I saved one for the end that I've never mentioned before, and yes, I used to wear it too. Let's kick this off with a big one. Capri pants that hit mid-calf. I know these were a go-to for many of us for years. They were everywhere, especially in the early 2000s. But here's the problem. That mid-calf length cuts right across the widest part of your lower leg. And on women over 50, especially if you're petite or curvy, that can make your legs look shorter and your frame less balanced. Now, I'm not saying you have to give up cropped pants altogether. I wear them all the time. The trick is to go for ones that hit just above the ankle instead. That extra few inches makes a huge difference in how your legs are perceived. The whole silhouette looks more elongated, more intentional, and yes, more flattering. I used to pair my capris with tunics or oversized tees, thinking it gave me coverage. But looking back, it actually overwhelmed my shape and made my proportions look off. When I switched to ankle-length linen trousers or tapered cropped pants, I felt more elegant right away. It wasn't even about being trendy, it just looked better on my body. So if you've got a drawer full of capris gathering dust, or worse, still in rotation, it's time to let them go. There are so many better options that still keep you cool in the summer but don't shorten your legs. And trust me, once you try the right length, you'll wonder why you didn't do it sooner. All right, here's one that might sting a little: logo-covered handbags. Yes, I had them too. Back in the day, we believed that a big logo meant luxury, and we wore those monograms like a badge of honor. But fashion has shifted, and today those oversized branded bags can feel a little loud and dated. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with loving a designer bag. Please, I'm right there with you. But it's about how the branding is done. These days, elegance leans more toward quiet luxury. That means clean lines, premium materials, and no need for flashy logos to prove their worth. It's all about letting the quality of the piece speak for itself. Italian women over 50 are the queens of this. They walk around with buttery leather crossbodies or classic top handles that don't scream for attention but still look incredibly chic. Brands like Coccinelle, The Bridge, or even leather bags from Florence's small ateliers offer the same feel without shouting their name. That's where real style lives. So if your go-to bag still has that big logo plastered on the front, maybe it's time for a more refined update. It doesn't mean you have to toss every designer item you own. It just means you can start exploring more subtle pieces that blend into your outfit rather than take over. Trust me, your whole look becomes more cohesive. Now, transitioning into the next one, boxy, oversized blazers. These were such a powerful look back in the 80s and 90s. Big shoulders, long lengths, no waist. It was all about commanding presence. But now? They tend to drown our figures, especially after 50 when our proportions start to change naturally. I remember wearing a blazer like that to a conference years ago, thinking I looked sharp. But in photos, it was all jacket, no shape. When I started opting for single-breasted blazers with a little waist definition, it was like someone turned on a light switch. My shape returned, my clothes felt modern, and I didn't look like I was borrowing from a man's closet. The key is tailoring. Even if you find something off the rack, get it nipped at the waist or shortened slightly if needed. I like soft structured blazers with a bit of stretch, especially in neutral tones or soft checks. They layer beautifully over dresses, jeans, and trousers, and you never feel bulky. If you've still got one of those heavy shoulder pad blazers in the back of your closet, it might be time to donate it. Give yourself the gift of shape again. You'll feel more confident, more current, and more you. And now, let's talk about those short-sleeve button-ups with boxy cuts. These shirts are sneaky. They seem easy and practical, and they were always being marketed to us as summer must-haves. But honestly, they rarely do our bodies any favors, especially if you have a larger bust or a shorter torso. They often gape at the chest, bunch at the shoulders, or hang stiffly without any drape. I used to keep a few in my closet thinking they were safe options for errands or casual days. But the truth is, I never felt stylish in them. They made me feel like I was wearing a uniform, like a staff shirt at a hardware store. These days, I reach for tops that flow and move. Think cotton blend blouses with a bit of softness, sleeveless collared shirts with structure, or even lightweight knits. The key is finding tops that follow the line of your body instead of fighting against it. A little tailoring or shape goes a long way. If you're realizing you've got a few of those old-school button-ups lurking in your wardrobe, now's a great time to do a little purge. And if you're wondering where to find great alternatives, I've handpicked a few pieces I actually wear and love. You can find all the links in the description box below. Next on our list, those faded bootcut jeans from the 2000s. I know, we all loved them for years. They were a staple in our wardrobes, worn with everything from chunky heels to flats, and they were seen as the ultimate flattering jean shape. But the truth is, they've fallen out of style, and they're doing more harm than good to our proportions. Bootcut jeans were designed to balance out the hips and thighs, but the problem is that the modern cuts we see today, like straight leg or high-rise skinny jeans, have taken over. Boot cuts can often make our legs look shorter or wider, especially if they're paired with an older, worn-out pair. The faded washes also don't help. They often give the illusion of slouchy, baggy, and dated denim. It's time to switch up your denim game. The beauty of today's jeans is that they come in a variety of styles that are more flattering to a wide range of body types. For example, a pair of high-waisted, straight-leg jeans elongates the leg and gives a polished look without sacrificing comfort. If you're not ready to say goodbye to denim, try a fresh pair in a clean, dark wash, or even with a little stretch for added comfort and style. So if your closet is still holding on to those faded boot cuts, it might be time for a refresh. Consider swapping them for more modern silhouettes that bring your outfit up to date and give you that effortlessly chic vibe. Trust me, your legs and your confidence will thank you. Okay, who else remembers those ruffled, tiered, or peasant skirts? I wore them everywhere in the 90s and 2000s, and they were incredibly popular for their romantic, bohemian vibe. But as much as I love a good boho moment, these skirts can quickly make you look frumpy and dated, especially when they have too many tiers or overly frilly details. The main problem with ruffled skirts is that they add volume in places we don't necessarily want, around the hips and thighs. When you're over 50, you may find that adding extra volume just makes you look like you're drowning in fabric. Instead, consider a sleek A-line skirt or even a pencil skirt. These cuts flatter the body more naturally and look more sophisticated without losing that feminine charm. Another reason to let go of those old peasant skirts is that the fabric quality back then wasn't always the best. You may notice that the materials have faded or the skirts are starting to lose their shape. These days, fabrics like silk, cotton blends, or even structured linen give a similar boho feel, but with a much more modern edge. Pair them with a fitted top or light blouse to balance out the look. So, while I totally understand the nostalgic feeling around those skirts, it's time to bid them farewell. You can still keep that relaxed, bohemian energy in your wardrobe, just with a more updated, figure-flattering twist. Let's dive into prints, specifically the tiny florals and overdone animal prints that have been around for decades. Now, I'm all for a good print. Nothing wrong with having a little fun with patterns. but these two in particular can often look a bit juvenile or gaudy when worn in large quantities. Tiny florals? They tend to get lost in the fabric and give off a more little girl vibe than a modern, mature aesthetic. As for animal prints, while they're still a staple in fashion, the overly bold, loud prints from the early 2000s are better left in the past. Think zebra stripes that take over the entire piece of clothing or leopard prints that are way too harsh. The key to wearing animal prints today is moderation. A small accent, like a leopard print belt or a chic animal print scarf, can add a touch of flair without feeling like you're a walking zoo. When it comes to florals, go for larger, more modern prints, something abstract or art-inspired. Big, bold florals are much more sophisticated and elegant than the tiny, ditzy patterns that we used to love. And animal prints should be used sparingly, with more neutral tones and smaller accents. This approach gives off a much more chic and polished look, rather than screaming, loud print. So if your closet still has those tiny florals or the full-on leopard print dresses, it's time for an update. Swap them out for prints that feel more current and less reminiscent of our younger years. You'll be surprised at how much more mature and refined your style will feel. We all had those days when we thought wearing glitter or sequins was the key to looking fabulous. A top with sequins for a lunch date or a sparkly t-shirt for running errands. It felt fun, right? But here's the thing. Glitter and sequins are meant for special occasions, not everyday wear. And when you wear them during the day, they can come across as overdone or just plain tacky. Glitter and sequins draw attention, so while they can look great for an evening event or a night out, wearing them during the day can feel like you're trying too hard. And let's face it, as we get older, less is often more. I started switching to tops with subtle embellishments, or even a bit of metallic sheen that doesn't scream party. This way, you still get that glam effect, but in a more refined, mature way. If you're craving a little sparkle, try incorporating metallic fabrics or shimmery knit tops instead of full-on glitter. Or wear a sequin scarf or clutch to bring in that glamorous element without overpowering your outfit. This subtlety still lets you stand out, but in a more age-appropriate way. You want to look sophisticated, not like you're stepping out of a nightclub. So if you've been hanging on to those glittery or sequined tops, it's time to swap them for more versatile pieces. Choose fabrics with a natural shine, or structured tops that still bring that party vibe, but without feeling too much. Trust me, you'll feel more chic and elegant when you do. Now, here's one I know a lot of us are guilty of: the outdated walking sandals. You know the ones: big straps, thick soles, and often clunky. I used to live in those sandals, thinking they were the best choice for comfort. But here's the truth. While comfort is essential, you don't have to sacrifice style for it. Walking sandals often come across as bulky and frumpy, and while they're fantastic for a day at the beach or a walk around the block, they're not doing your outfit any favors for a casual outing. Try replacing them with stylish yet comfortable slip-ons, espadrilles, or even a sleek sandal with a supportive strap. There are so many options that combine comfort and style. No more sacrificing one for the other. What kind of footwear are you wearing for everyday activities? Are you still rocking those old walking sandals? Or have you found alternatives that combine both comfort and style? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear how you approach footwear as we get older. Now, let's talk about fleece vests and zip-up jackets, those cozy, practical pieces we once threw on for casual outings. I get it. Fleece is warm, it's easy to wear, and it seems like the perfect option for running errands or walking the dog. But when you're over 50, it's important to start thinking about how these pieces fit into a more polished, put-together wardrobe. Fleece vests, in particular, can sometimes make you look like you're headed to the gym instead of out for a coffee or lunch. The issue with fleece vests is that they often lack shape, and the material can make them appear bulky, especially if you're layering them with other loose pieces. This combination can quickly result in a shapeless, overly casual look, which doesn't do any favors for your figure. Instead of reaching for a fleece vest, try a structured jacket or cardigan with a more refined fabric like wool or cotton. These materials elevate the look without compromising on warmth or comfort. Zip-up jackets, while versatile, can also veer into too casual territory when worn outside of athletic contexts. If you're looking for something cozy for casual days, go for a knit sweater or a light trench coat instead. Both will keep you warm but maintain a more stylish, sophisticated silhouette. Opting for modern fabrics and structured fits will ensure that your casual outfits still have an edge of elegance. So, let's leave the fleece vests and zip-ups for very specific casual settings, and look for alternatives that work with our lifestyle and aesthetic at this stage of life. Let's move on to tunic tops. Don't get me wrong, I'm a fan of tunics. They're comfortable, flowy, and perfect for casual days. But when the tunic starts to reach too far below the hips, it's easy for it to swallow up your body and hide your shape. The issue with overly long tunics is that they can actually make you look shorter and less proportionate, especially if they hit at the mid-thigh or knee. When a tunic is too long, it can also make your legs appear stumpy, and the overall silhouette looks messy. The key here is to embrace tunics that offer just the right length, something that hits around the hip or just above the knee, creating a balanced and flattering proportion. A tunic that's tailored around the waist or with some definition will do wonders for creating a more structured, feminine shape. You could also try pairing your tunic with a fitted jacket or cardigan to add a sense of balance. Instead of wearing tunics that are too long, experiment with other tunic styles that have a more fitted cut or are shorter in length. Pair them with slim trousers or leggings for a modern, streamlined look. Tunics don't have to be boxy or oversized to be comfortable and chic. By playing with the length and fit, you can easily create a flattering look that still gives you all the comfort you love. Next up are outdated belts. I'm talking about those chunky, oversized buckles and worn faux leather that might have been trendy a few years ago, but now just feel heavy and outdated. While belts can absolutely be a fun accessory, they have to be the right style to complement your outfit. A large, bulky buckle can be overpowering, especially when you're aiming for a more sophisticated or sleek look. And if your faux leather belts have seen better days, they might be contributing to a frumpy or worn-out appearance. The key here is to choose a belt that's refined and subtle. A sleek, thin leather belt in a neutral tone will not only elongate the waistline, but also add structure to any outfit. Think of a classic black or brown leather belt with a small, minimalistic buckle that doesn't take over the look. This type of belt can cinch a flowy dress or pair perfectly with high-waisted trousers, without drawing too much attention away from the rest of the outfit. If your belts are looking worn, it might be time to retire them and invest in a few fresh, versatile pieces. A quality belt can completely transform an outfit, elevating it from casual to chic. Choose belts with subtle textures or muted metallic details, and opt for leather that will stand the test of time. A well-chosen belt is an accessory that makes a statement without overwhelming the look. Sheer blouses have been a fashion staple for years, but here's the thing. When they're too sheer for daytime wear, they can cross the line from chic to overly revealing. You might be thinking, but sheer blouses are feminine and light, and yes, they can be if done right. However, when a blouse is so sheer that it reveals too much underneath, it often feels more inappropriate than stylish, especially when worn in everyday settings. The trick to wearing sheer fabrics is layering them appropriately. A sheer blouse can still look beautiful when paired with a camisole or a fitted tank top underneath, keeping things elegant and modest while still allowing that delicate fabric to shine. The key is to make sure the sheer fabric isn't too revealing or distracting, which can take away from the overall look. You can still wear sheer fabrics for special occasions, but for day wear, aim for a balance between transparency and coverage. If you find that your wardrobe has a few too many overly sheer blouses, it might be time to opt for pieces with a little more structure. Look for blouses made with lightweight fabrics that don't require so much layering. Fabrics like silk, cotton, or even chiffon offer a more modern and chic take on the sheer trend, giving you that soft, feminine feel without crossing any boundaries. Now, I know you're probably wondering, what could possibly be worse than a two-sheer blouse? Well, stay tuned, because I'm saving the best, or should I say the most outdated, for last. Coming up is something you may not have even realized has fallen out of style: shrug sweaters. I'm going to tell you why these cozy little pieces no longer belong in your closet, and trust me, this tip will surprise you. Shrug sweaters. Let's be real here. Remember when they seemed like the perfect, cute layer to throw over a dress or top? While they're cozy and all, they've definitely seen better days. Shrugs are one of those trends that really don't work as we get older. They tend to shorten the torso and often create a blocky, unflattering silhouette, making it harder to achieve that balanced, elegant look we want. The problem with shrugs is that they're not very versatile. They don't add enough warmth to replace a jacket, nor do they contribute enough shape to function like a fitted cardigan. Plus, they often sit awkwardly around the shoulders, making it feel like you're wearing a piece that's not really part of your outfit. A more tailored cardigan or a lightweight draped jacket will do much more for your look and shape than a shrug ever could. I know, I've worn these in the past too, but let's face it, they're just not cutting it anymore. If you're looking for layering options, try a chic, long cardigan, a fitted blazer, or even a structured jacket. These pieces are timeless and give you the coverage and style that a shrug just can't provide. Time to ditch the shrug and embrace more flattering and functional layers. If you enjoyed this video, you're definitely going to love my next one. I'm diving into 5 things you need to stop wearing in 2025. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. We're talking about pieces you may not even realize are holding your style back. Stay tuned.